Salut. Ça va? Moi, ça va. Merci. In our last class together, I talked a great deal about the importance of respecting the time limitations in those exercises that require it in the ULAT, as well as in the tests that you take. And the importance of the time limitation is really twofold. Those time requirements or limitations, first of all, they serve as a training device, and then secondly, as a measurement, an evaluation tool, I suppose you could say. They're a training device in that they oblige you to think. If you're to succeed, if you're to be successful and respect the fastest pace required of you, you must think. They train you to think in the proper fashion. Otherwise, you will not succeed. They train you to think in terms of concepts and not in terms of words in your native language or words in printed form, especially if you've had training elsewhere before this. And they also they train you to or they help you to avoid thinking in terms of rules and charts before you can speak. Their goal is to form within you what I call linguistic reflexes, the ability to respond by means of a reflex response, as opposed to something you've reasoned your way toward. Because in reasoning your way to the statement you want to make, you simply are going to speak too slowly, and there's too great a risk of thinking in your native language in that process. They also serve it as a measurement to see if you are or are not thinking properly. If you find that you can't respect them, almost invariably it's because you're thinking in English, you're thinking in terms of printed text, or you're thinking too much about rules, and you need to go back and do the prior sections before that timed activity with greater diligence, and you need to repeat them over and over again. That would include the timed activity itself. You'd repeat it until you've mastered it. Well, this particular lesson, lesson 1.26, is really a good follow-up to that message that I'm sharing with you here, because it involves 3 different timed activities. Let's go take a look at lesson 126 right now. In lesson 126, you see that the first section deals with reviewing. All of this is a review lesson, and it's reviewing verb conjugation, negative sentence formation, question formation, and of course the knowledge of the personal pronouns and the verbs which you've learned up to this point. And it's followed by the first timed activity. After sentence number 33, you come to this race right here, which is the PowerPoint video, which advances at 3 different speeds until you get to the point after the red screen where you're going as fast as the test is going to require you to go in making the statements. And so that's the first of the timed activities. Make sure that you provide the answer before you hear me give it to you within the PowerPoint video. Secondly, this is a new activity for you. You'll open the stopwatch. You'll choose always on top and put it up out of the way somewhere where you can time yourself. And you see down here that there's the image of the mouse, and the mouse indicates that you are to click on this number 1 here. As you click on the 1,
El cuaderno.
El cuaderno, that's the wrong language, le cahier, you will hear one of the vocabulary words which you must go and seek out. You must find the picture that corresponds to le cahier, and here it is right here. And clicking on le cahier, you'll note that takes me to a new screen which now has a number 2 on it. If I click there, I'll hear another vocabulary word which I must go find, click on, and that will take me to another screen which will say 3, etc., until you've gone through 59 different screens. And once you've gone through all 59, you've finished the last of the nouns that you need to identify, you'll see this image right there of a stop sign indicating you were to stop the stopwatch and see if you were able to respect the 7-minute time limitation. If you weren't, then you need to go back, and I would say before you even try doing this activity again, go rather to the lexicon. And within the lexicon, you'll find the category dealing with nouns, and within that category you'll see all the nouns plus many others that you haven't learned yet, all the nouns from Unit 1 that you've been exposed to, as well as those that are yet to be learned. And so go through looking for the ones that you do know, try to say them, click on them to see if you're right, and then go back and do this activity up above, about which we just spoke. Right there, there it is, okay. And then last of all, there is, after the stop sign, there is a third timed activity, which is very similar. Here you have a 2-minute time period in which to say all of these vocabulary words. So you'll start the stopwatch, you'll click and you have 2 minutes and you'll say l'homme, le garçon, l'escalier or les escaliers, l'élève, la femme, la voiture, etc., etc., etc. If you can't finish within 2 minutes, go back and maybe you want to do the previous exercise, that 7-minute timed activity again, or maybe you simply want to go to the lexicon, but you need to review vocabulary better. Okay, well, it's time for you now to go into lesson 1.26, and I will see you in 127 when we'll start to engage in a little bit more conversation. Au revoir, à bientôt.